Hi everybody, it's Chris here from the Evermore podcast, live exclusively on the Slide Rule Pass YouTube channel. Just a post-match reaction to yet another complete bottle job by Newcastle United. Another game slipped by without a win. 3 points disappeared, and we really are in the shit right now, especially after Norwich pulling off their result today. It's really alarming, really, for Newcastle at the moment, guys, and it's just, I don't know where the hell to go with this. But starting off on the game, obviously, we're going to have a look at the lineup and see how we started out. Obviously, we were all excited to see Kieran Trippier making his Premier League debut, as well as Chris Wood up front, given as a focal point, especially after the disaster that was a Cambridge game last week, where obviously we had no centre forward at all, no presence. Another name that was really great to see back in the side was Paul Dummett, who's been missing for a long, long time. Obviously, Paul Dummett is a very reliable player, local lad. I think he brings a lot of consistency, reliability and dependability to the side. So I was really interested to see how Paul Dummett would do when he come back into the team. But yeah, I think, by and large, just kind of looking at the game as two different halves, I suppose. First half, we created some good chances. Joe Linton hits the bar and post, I think it was, with that little flick effort that he had. We controlled possession. I think we had about 60+% or something like that. But it just seemed to be a lot of huffing and puffing without really, blowing the door down. Watford didn't look particularly that dangerous. And obviously, they still have some dangerous players, certainly with Dennis up front. Obviously, when they stopped them going to the African Cup of Nations because they were a shit house of a club. But yeah, there was a little bit of needle as well going on. I think obviously Trippier was a bit involved as well with the was it João Pedro for Watford, the shit house. He was kind of working himself all first half really. But yeah, I thought Newcastle really looked like they should have took some chances in the first half and gone in, obviously, in the lead, and that would have put us in a really good position for the second half, but wasn't to be. So it was very scrappy. I think we were all having a bit of a dig at ASM. He looked like he was having one of them games, where he just doesn't really do much, really kind of flatters to deceive. I thought he was struggling a lot to beat the right back for Watford. There was in Nikiga, which was, he had a really good first half, to be brutally honest with you. So second half obviously kicks off, no changes. And then to be fair to the Watford right back that I'm just praising now, he was really struggling. So how do you pronounce his name? Is it Nakia? I think it is. Sorry, Watford fans and Newcastle fans have got that wrong. But he started off the first half in the worst possible way. So I think he kind of fresh air kicked it, slipped. Obviously, ASM slips in on 49 minutes, does his typical ASM thing. We're all shouting for him to come off. He's shite. He's just twirling around. He's got no end product. And then all of a sudden, he smashes us in the lead. And we're 1-0 up. St. James's Park erupts. Absolutely fantastic. And you think we're going to push on from there, really, but we just didn't seem to really have it in us. Wood looked quite anonymous in the second half. It wasn't really sticking to him as much. In the first half, he got into good positions and tried to, make himself dangerous. But I thought the Watford defence kind of handled him quite well. He looked relatively easy to play against, and I think they break as well shortly after. Josh King with a brilliant save from the birthday boy, my birthday twin, Martin Dubravka today. Joint birthdays for me and him. So happy birthday, Martin. It was a great save that. I think we could have been in big trouble if he hadn't pulled that one off. He looked a lot steadier today. I know we gave him some stick on the last Evermore podcast, James in particular. But I think he looked okay today. He looked steady enough. So the game goes on. I think players are starting to tire. ASM's looking a bit leggy, a bit ropey. I think one of the only criticisms is I probably would have brought Miggy on a bit sooner than Howe did, to maybe stretch Watford a little bit more and push on for that second goal. But it just didn't look like it was coming at all. We were trying, for certain we were trying, but we just didn't seem to have that kind of final ball really. And again, it was scruffy, it was messy, and then just complete disaster towards the end of the game. Watford break down the left-hand side. It was probably the only time I think Paul Dummett actually, in all fairness, struggled to get back into position. Him and Almiron, the cross comes in. And again, how many times have we seen this again? We've got two big burly centre-halves in Lascelles and Cher, and they can barely get off the ground. João Pedro heads the ball in the back of the net, and it's ones each. We've tossed the game away again. It's just that discipline. I think Newcastle have been in leading positions 10 times this season and only won one game. So that just shows you the complete lack of concentration, the lack of discipline in amongst these players. And it's frightening, really. They were bad under Steve Bruce. They were horrific under Steve Bruce, to be brutally honest with you. Since Eddie Howe's come in, And I think we said this in the last episode as well, that, they have been able to get on the front foot a bit more. The transition of pass has been better. Players like Fraser look a lot better, a lot more lively. I thought he grafted hard today, Fraser, to be fair. But at the back, we're just absolutely abysmal. Absolutely abysmal. There's no leadership. There's no consistency. There's no concentration. I was watching Paul Dummer. Paul Dummer's been at that team for, since the last game of last season. And he was shouting. He was pointing more than any other player in that park. Lascelles can get in the mix and win headers and, put his body on the line and block shots and stuff like that. But his position is just horrific at the moment. I mean, we badly need an upgrade on that defence. 100% need an upgrade on that defence. And I think that's why these teams are playing hardball with us in the transfer market with the likes of Botman and Carlos. There's been reports that Sevilla want, was it 45 million euro for Carlos? Just fucking pay it. Just pay every single penny of it right now. Because if you have a good centre-half that can handle pressure and concentrate, we win games like this and we end up out of the bottom three and we end up with a better chance of staying in this league. But just as it happens, obviously we haven't done that. We've thrown away another 2 points. It'd be interesting to see what Eddie Howe comes out with and says after the game. But yeah, Norwich winning was an absolute disaster. So, I mean, looking at the table there with that, Norwich are on 13 points now, a point behind Watford. We're on 12 and Burnley are rock bottom on 11, but they've got 3 games in hand on us. Yes, we just signed their best striker, but when Burnley get those games to play, they could easily leapfrog us even if we're out of the bottom 3 and drag us right back down. So we're in a really, really shit position. And it's all down really to this complete lack of concentration by a team. We should be closing games like that off. Watford weren't great today. Very, very few opportunities really. And when they got in, we handled it very well. Again, that cross should have been cut out by Dummett in all fairness. The only criticism I could have from the whole game, but the fact he hasn't played for so long, I think you've got to cut him a little bit of slack that he can't get there quick enough. But the header should be cleared by Lascelles. It really should be, or Share. One of them two, or even Dubravka should come out and put his fist on that. Between the 3 of those players, that goal should never have went in. And again, I'm sick of saying it week in and week out. We say it all the time. We make excuses for these players. They're just not good enough. If you can't beat Watford at home when you're 60% possession and you're basically bossing the game, then what's the point? You might as well just down tools and go down to the Championship, this group of players anyway, because they're just not good enough. It's a huge couple of weeks in the transfer market. I think we really need to bring in some additions and we really need to strengthen this squad. Obviously, we've got Leeds next. Leeds are twice the side Watford are. So if we turn up and do that against Leeds, they'll rip us apart. And then we've got Everton after that as well. And then Aston Villa, who have strengthened very well in this transfer window. So, yeah, I think it's a real concern. I think this game should have really been a Watford or bust must-win game, really. I know everyone says that's a bit of a cliche. We've still got a chance. We're still 2 points off getting out of the bottom 3, but we keep throwing away these games and we're just not going to have many more chances left, guys. So yeah, I'm really disappointed. It kind of ruined my birthday a little bit today. I'd probably ruined Martin Dubravka's as well, to be brutally honest with you. But let us know what you think in the comments below, guys. I don't know if you think that's it. Don't win this game, you're screwed. I know a lot of people said Watford a bust, and they might very well be right, but huge games coming up against much better sides than Watford. And I feel if we turn in performances like that, I think we're really going to struggle. In terms of players playing today, I think Joe Litton did really well again. He grafted hard. I think Shelvey looked all right on the ball. Longstaff did all right in the first half, but then petered out in the second, pretty much like most of the team. And yeah, I was very impressed with Dummett. I think he did really well. I'm not going to be too critical of him of the goal. I think he should get there. I think he just has that little delay. Maybe it's fitness, match sharpness, whatever it may be. But, I think Matt Ritchie wouldn't have got anywhere near that anyway, to be brutally honest with you, because he's just not got the legs. So yeah, I don't know how you feel about it, guys. I'm really disappointed. And, I just think that, it puts more and more pressure on the Leeds game coming up next. And if we don't win that, God knows where we're going to end up. But thanks for watching, guys. Remember to like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. We'll be back with the lads next Wednesday for another Evermore. And until then, keep supporting that team we call United. And let's just hope to Christ we can get a result against Leeds. Thanks, guys. Take care.